Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Returning to Light with Julia Treat. I welcome you if you're new to my podcast. Thanks for stopping by. And for those of you that have stuck around over the months and years, I am truly grateful. It has definitely been one wild ride. And lately, I have been doing as much as possible to take care of myself. Like, I have really just been into self care lately because I realized I was trying to serve from a very empty vessel, a very empty and tired, drained vessel. And so, I mean, I'm talking, emotionally, especially emotionally, physically, all the stuff. So I've really been taking very good care of myself. It needed to happen. I've been trying some new things. I actually had a session with a tuning fork, someone who does tuning with tuning fork. Amazing. I'm going to be having her on as a guest in the near future. And I also I reached out to someone to help me just really do a massive clearing in my home and life, and just there's just yuck energy. And I just wanted another set of eyes, spiritual eyes on the situation. So we cleared a lot. It was an amazing experience, and just each and every day now, I'm feeling like not even back to myself. It's like the new me, the me that was waiting to break through, to have all these breakthroughs. And so, as we are, a lot of people set goals now for the new year starting. And so I want to point something out that nothing will ever change unless you change. Okay. And that was for me. That was my message. Nothing's going to change, Julia, unless you change. You change what you're doing. Right. So I have a lot of things that have been just opened up for me since I embraced this self care that I am doing right now. It was so needed. I don't even know the last time I allowed myself to take this good care of myself. So, I wanted to talk about new beginnings because, every single day is an opportunity to start new. Whatever it is, the thing you've been putting off, the thing you've been scared of, I'd have this philosophy: if there's anything you're afraid of to do, that you just got to go do it because you're going to see that you're on the other side of it. It didn't take you down, the thing that you were afraid of. So if you've been listening, you know that one of my worst nightmares was coming true. I do have a master's in speech pathology from the University of Kansas, and I was an active speech therapist for over 20 years. And this past year, my mother started exhibiting massive, like severe mental decline quickly. And I mean, talking to herself constantly, like a whisper almost, forgetting to bathe. And by the way, I just got back from visiting her, and she's doing fabulous. We'll get into that. But I told her, I said, Mom, I haven't really told a lot of people your story because I know you're private, but I think it's time that we can start, talking about how you were. And she's so on board with it now. And I think she was so bad she didn't even remember. She doesn't even remember being in that space. And so she was forgetting to bathe. She wasn't feeding and watering her dog. She was forgetting that. It was my worst nightmare. And I basically just said, Mom, either you start drinking ASEA or we're going to have to look for a home, and you're going to lose your dog because you can't take a dog into assisted living in her space where she lives. She has an independent apartment. And so I said, look, this is the only thing that I know of that can turn this around. And I will coach you through this if you'll just do it. So, fast forward. She did it. Things turn out amazing. She's independent. She's driving. She's not talking to herself anymore. It's amazing. And she's actually starting to tell people about it at the building she lives in. But as a lot of us are saying, like, what am I supposed to do next? Or how can I show up the best? And how can I help the most, right? I feel like I almost felt paralyzed, energetically paralyzed to just shift or to move forward to something. And I mean all in forward. And so as I'm putting out there, like, just show me what it is I'm here to do. Like, what is it now? Because I feel like something has changed. What am I here to do now? So as I'm putting that out there, I was boarding a plane a couple of months ago, 3 months ago actually, I was getting ready to board a plane to go to Utah to see the ASEA plant. And while I was waiting, I went to the restroom, one of those last ditch, restroom breaks before you get on the airplane. And when I was walking in, I passed a woman, and I mean, I hadn't seen her in so long, and she was in rough shape. Okay, she had a cane. She just it was rough, and I said, "Oh, excuse me," because I was walking fast, as fast as I talk, and so we, passed each other, and I went to the restroom, and I was like, "Man, I think that was Lisa." Now, Lisa is a dance instructor. She teaches tap, jazz, ballroom dancing, all the types of things to children and adults here in Northeast PA, in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. And years ago, I did classes in her studio, and I did group readings in her studio, and I taught things in her studio. So I'm sitting there, relieving myself and thinking, oh my God, that was Lisa? Now, I have not seen Lisa since, I don't even know, maybe before this all happened, this whole COVID thing started. Maybe since then. So it's been a while. And we were very close, good friends. So I thought, okay, when I get done, I'm going to go out and see if she's out there. I'll go say hi to her. And I walked out, looked around, and I didn't see her anywhere. I was like, darn, okay, well, maybe I'll catch up with her again someday or see her somewhere else. So I go up and I'm standing there waiting to get on the plane. And I just kind of turned around to just look at everybody that's getting on the plane. And there's Lisa and her husband sitting there. They're getting on the same plane. So I went over there and I said, oh my gosh, hi guys. And I sat down across from her. And it took her a moment, just to, oh, Julia, she kind of like stuttered through it. And I said, yes. I said, I thought that was you when I passed you in the restroom. And so she proceeded to tell me about the car accident that she had had 3 years ago. Horrific car accident that had left her with brain damage. And she had a lot of deficits, mental and physical. And by the way, where I'm going with this is a pretty amazing story. Because I am doing interviews with her, and they are on YouTube, on my Returning to Light channel on YouTube. You can see them there. And you can actually see the video of us talking. This is after the fact, okay? So we're just getting ready to board the plane. And so Lisa and her husband got in line to get on first because it took her more time. She had a cane and she couldn't walk the greatest and needed more time to get on. And I was just like, wow, okay, is this a sign? Is this a sign? Because I've been putting out there, how can I help? And I really believe in this ASEA after witnessing my mom's own miracle. And so I said, well, if I see her again, I'll bring it up. I put it out there. If I see her again on this plane or afterwards, I'll tell her about it. Well, I walk on the plane. Now, one way I take care of myself traveling is I do book first class, and I sit usually in the very first seat. That's just where I want to be, in a single seat by itself. I'm the first one, off the plane, but I'm just right there in the front. So I walk on, and lo and behold, Lisa and her husband are sitting next to me across the aisle. They're in the 2 seats next to me in the front row. First row on the plane. I said, ding, ding, ding. This light just, of course, I already knew. So we get going on the flight, and we're talking and catching up, and we haven't talked in so long, and she's telling me her story about her accident. She was, pronounced dead at the scene. It was crazy what she went through. And you can watch the interview on YouTube, but basically a young girl was driving and texting, and Lisa was getting into her car at the dance studio, and the girl hit Lisa, and then actually hit, I think, 2 more cars and a telephone pole or something, but hit Lisa. She landed on the ground, and Lisa's car ran her over. It was the craziest thing. So she was telling me all this, and she was saying about, going to therapy for the past 3 years. Now, as she's talking, she's stuttering, she's slurring, almost like sounding like she's drunk, and she's having trouble finding words and remembering things and all this. So my heart's, well, I'm going to say this. I almost said my heart was breaking for her. My heart was breaking for her thinking she was stuck in that, right? That was where she thought, because she said, I've hit my plateau. They said, you've hit your plateau. My neurologist, my therapist, I've hit my plateau, and I don't know why I'm even here. She says, I feel broken, and I keep thinking, well, God has me here for a reason. I just don't know what that is. And that's when I said, I think I do. So I proceeded to tell her about ASEA and what it had done for my mother, and that I had met several people that were in the same experience in the same shoes as she was, that had brain damage or brain injuries of some kind, and are now, everything is absolutely reversed and they have no symptoms of that any longer. And I said, and she was headed to her daughter's house for the holidays. And I said, you know, just call me when you get back. I'd love to talk to you more about it. And I did say, I think this is your shot. This is the thing. This is the thing that's going to get you off that plateau. You're going to soar. And so she did. She called me a few weeks later. I started thinking, oh, great. Oh, I hope she calls me because I really do think this is what she needs. This is it. This is going to take care of her. And, we get those silly stories in our head going like, oh, gosh, okay, she's not going to call. And it was dumb because she called. Okay, she just had a lot of stuff going on and she was busy. She said, Julie, I want to hear about it. And so I said, all right, I want to introduce you to Danielle because she was in a car accident herself, and I want you to understand what's possible because she was where you are now, right? So we did this three-way talk with her, and then I spoke with Lisa and her husband, and they both, Frank's like, I'm doing it with her. We do everything together, so I'm getting on it too. So we both, they got on it. I got them set up, and I said, Lisa, I want to ask a huge favor. What if we videotape you from the day you're going to start to see it? Let's videotape you and what you can do, what your limitations are, and all that. Let's talk about that. And how about if we do weekly catch-ups, like weekly visits to see what has happened, weekly videos, so that people can actually see for themselves what's happening. And so she was all on board. She's like, if this helps anyone, I'm in. So we did our first interview where she talks about her accident. Again, it's on that YouTube channel, Returning to Light. If you do go watch it, please hit a like. Give me the like or something. People watch and they don't do anything, and it does help get it out. My channel there is very slow moving, but the algorithm is tough. So the more people that like something and comment, the faster it gets out there, or the more people it will reach. And so I got them started, and then the next week we did her first interview. She'd been on ASEA for 1 week. All right. And I hadn't spoken with her. Like I wanted to see what was happening. And so she got on and she was talking, and I said, Lisa, you are so fluent. Your speech is fluent. Your tone is back to normal. And she goes, I know. She goes, people are telling me that. And all this. She was just excited. I said, oh my God, Lisa, like this is phenomenal. And people were commenting on my post. Oh, by the way, I am back on Facebook. I was in Facebook jail for 4 years, at least. 4 years or something? So I wasn't even, they told me I was banned for life. But here's the thing. A little something gave me a nudge and said, try one more time. And it was to get ASEA out to the world. And so I tried and I got right on. So I am on Facebook, Julia Treat. You can check it out if you want to, connect with me there. So Lisa continued. We were set up to do our next video the next week, which was the last. This is New Year's Eve, so we did a video last Friday. I was in a hotel room because I was visiting my mom again. And so the Wi-Fi was spotty. And so we made the video, but my words didn't match my mouth. And so it looked really weird. I was like, I don't want to put that out there because they're going to be looking at my mouth and not paying attention to Lisa's story. So I didn't post the video, but I posted what she had said in the video. And keep in mind, guys, 3 years post-accident, post-trauma, 3 years. Always stuttered, slurring, word finding, using a cane, could not teach dance standing up. She had to sit in a chair because the back of her legs felt like cement, she said. So she's 2 weeks on it. We're doing the interview. She no longer needs a cane, and she is teaching standing up and even doing some dance moves. She no longer needs a cane to go up and down stairs, which she used to have to shuffle, do one step, and then bring the other step to meet it, and one step, and then bring the other foot. Now she's walking up steps like regular people, like most of us do. This is in 2 weeks, okay? And this is why, when you put out there, what am I supposed to be doing? Just show me the way, right? Just show me the way. This was what I was supposed to be doing. So when we talk about new beginnings, because I don't know what energetically was keeping me from leaping into this. It was really strange. Even physical stuff was happening. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is This is crazy. And I believe it's past lives where I had come out, as this, doing this, or saying this, just like every other thing I've come out and said I do. The attacks, right? The attacks, the energetic attacks, like, oh God, don't, I'm not saying it's from humans, just attacks. Stop her. She's going to help people. No. And I do believe past lives of, things happening to us will make us feel paralyzed to make that next move. Or we just, maybe not even paralyzed, but you just don't know what to do. But you're not sure why that fog is in front of you, that fog that won't even allow you to understand what it is you're supposed to be doing. And so, I know this sounds like a little bit of a ramble. So Lisa and I are getting prepared. We're doing our next video in a couple of days. But we're also having an event. I'm a free event in her dance studio. It is on this Sunday, January 4th, from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you live in the area and you want to come, I am going to be doing a presentation. I am going to be giving testimonials and showing visuals, and also having the products there that people can try out and look at and ask me questions. It's really going to be 2 hours of educating about this and letting everyone understand how this is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail. As a space pathologist, I worked with people like Lisa for years, and it was very frustrating, not just for the client, but for me as a practitioner, as a therapist, because I wanted so much for them to get that miracle. And when I witnessed this with my mom, I knew this was it, because again, with dementia or Alzheimer's, there's no reversal. This is the only stuff I've ever seen that has reversed anything. And so then for Lisa to jump in, and me already witnessing miracles with her, everybody witnessing it in just 2 weeks, it is just mind-blowing. I'm excited every day to get up. I can't wait to share it with someone. I'm actually working on this big ad campaign right now to just get it out to the masses. People just need to know that there is something out there, that they have hope. They are not stuck with what they have, any condition. That there's no need to suffer. We do not need to be suffering. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes. By the way, I want to send out a sweet thank you to Tiffany. You know who you are, Tiffany. You sent me a message a while back, and I'm sorry I'm just now telling you thank you. Just a very encouraging message to me to kind of like keep going. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. So when I returned from the trip and Lisa had started her journey on ASEA, then I'd sit at my desk and be working on my ad campaign, and I have a blue jay that keeps coming actually to my window right by my desk. And this blue jay taps at the window. And the blue jay is, for me, the sign of new beginnings. Right? Like, yes, new beginnings, this is it. You got it, girl. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And so that was a really cool thing. And the bluebird showed up for a few days, and then it hasn't since, because I got the message. The bird doesn't need to keep showing up every day, right, for me to get it. So yes, ASEA is a huge part of what I'm doing now, maybe the biggest part. I am back to doing readings for people. They are done by Zoom. I've had a lot of people reaching out that just want guidance on next steps, okay, and whatever that looks like or what that means for them and how do they do that. So please email me directly, juliatreat444@gmail.com. All right, if you want to book a reading with me, that's where you need to get a hold of me. If you want to check out ASEA, you need to go to aseaglobal.com/juliatreat. You do get 10% off your first order by putting my name in the promo, Julia Treat. There's also a contact button on that page. Please contact me if you have any questions for yourself or for a loved one. I can get you the testimonials. I can get you the information. I can get you anything you need to understand how and why this would help you and or your loved ones. Okay, this is for any age, all ages. It's 100% non-toxic. I'm going to encourage you to go to ASEA Global. So on YouTube, there's a channel called ASEA Global. And there is a video that's out that is ASEA Science 2025. Okay? It will educate you as to why this works for everyone. It is also on my Facebook page. All right, so if you get me on Facebook under Julia Treat, I did post that video on my page as well. Just remember what I said in the beginning, that nothing will change unless you change. Well, I have been in 2 years of crap. Really, just crap, and I was sick of it, and I knew I had to make a change. And sometimes making a change can feel uncomfortable, but again, it could be that energetic memory, that soul memory of a past life where it wasn't received so well. Okay? Please don't let that stop you. If don't keep hitting your head on that glass over and over, and I'm not getting where I need to be, whether it's for love, for career, for purpose. I mean, purpose is so important right now, and loving what you're doing. And I get up every single day so excited because all I do is see people's stories of how ASEA has changed their life. I want to include this. It's for everyone, and I really want to say this too, though, because I'm hearing a lot of this is happening. If you know someone who either is unable to get pregnant or cannot carry a pregnancy, please reach out to me. I can help. Please, I have the information I can send. I have the testimonials. I have the families. I can send everything. Okay, this, again, like I said, is the Holy Grail. I wish you the most beautiful, loving, and prosperous 2026. The light in me sees the light in you, and it is divine.